So, you guys know about the Freedom Convoy in Canada?
Not too.
I know that they're full of hate.
Hate for Trudeau.
That's not what I heard. I heard they flew a swastika.
I heard they're violent protesters and they're fighting people.
I heard they had a Confederate flag.
I heard they're a part of the alt-right and they're anti-vaxxers. And actually, I heard that they're all vaccinated and they're just like, hey, we want the choice to
Interesting.
to vaccinate. You know, that's what I heard.
That's what I heard too. They just want to not have the mandates and let it be a choice for people.
But there's actually a lot of vaccinated truckers that are just like, wait, because wasn't it messing up the trade laws or like making it difficult?
Yeah, they just couldn't work. It fucked with their entire livelihood.
Yeah.
Well, there was a GoFundMe that was created in support of the Freedom Convoy. And GoFundMe just suspended and canceled the fundraising account.
Wow.
After it had already raised
Big shock.
$10 million in support.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
Do they get all that
Back to everybody else.
refunded?
No, they don't. They don't get it. Well, if you donated, you have until a specific date to get your money refunded back to you. If you don't,
They just steal it?
they're not going to automatically refund it. They are going to redistribute it to a different charity that the Freedom Convoy wants it to go to. But that charity also has to be approved by GoFundMe.
Why did they take it away from them?
Because apparently in the terms of service of GoFundMe, which I don't know if this is like a new change or whatever, they believe that if a fund seems like it is going to result in an unlawful or violent occupation, then you're not allowed to have.
Yeah, because they don't want to go fund like the ISIS or something.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, help us like jihad or fucking, you know.
Yeah, I
They don't
think
wanna go
it was
violent.
the categorization of its change from being some sort of like peaceful convoy to suddenly like an occupation because they were like outside of like Canada's like Capitol Hill or whatever and blocking or you know what I mean. So
But isn't that what protest is?
I thought protest was what, you know.
I mean, dude, when Occupy Wall Street like went to, they were in Wall Street, right? And they were like hanging out in that area. Like nobody was like, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, Wall Street was.
was there any moment of potential violence or anything that happened?
No, the thing is that there might have been different there could have been different incidents, but basically there was pressure from Trudeau on GoFundMe to like kind of not to cut this off, and essentially that's what happened because GoFundMe says, oh, we received information from the police that this peaceful protest is turning.
Is there I haven't been keeping up on the media with this because like I don't really know what's truth or not right
We are
now.
the media.
But is there proof of violence happening? Because I hear rumors of like, yeah, there's like people fighting in violence, but then like there's no video of.
So people say that the truckers went into like this area where they like feed homeless people, and that truckers were violent there, and that they
jacking like food
were jacking
and stuff,
food
yeah.
there. But then the truckers say that, I mean, a couple of people were told that they could eat the food there, and then somebody at the who was feeding the homeless people didn't recognize that this trucker wasn't a homeless person, and they fed them, and then a bunch of truckers thought that you could eat there.
Oh.
So that's the counterpoint, but I don't know what the truth is.
So how's that violence?
I don't know.
Well, so far it sounds like nothing's really going on at this thing that hasn't gone on in a lot of these protests. It kind of seems like, okay, it's a fucking protest. A lot of shit's going haywire.
There's outliers
We get
everywhere.
it, yeah.
So far, the only thing I've seen is this comparison of this versus like some of the BLM protests, where it's I guess it's supposed. I mean, I don't know too much about it, but I guess they're saying like they both had two organizations or two organized demonstrations or whatever. Both of them have GoFundMes. This one, there's been like buildings set on fire. This one, generally no physical whatever, no violence. But then this GoFundMe was allowed to continue while this one.
Yeah,
was...
That's the direct comparison that's getting the most heat because Elon Musk steps in and he calls them out with evidence of times where GoFundMe itself on their own accounts were endorsing for people to donate to the
BLM?
CHOP. Remember CHOP?
Oh, Seattle.
CHOP over in Seattle.
Autonomous Zone.
Capitol Hill Occupy protests. And they were raising funds on GoFundMe for riot gear, protective stuff. So that's already for stuff
And people
that's-
died inside of CHOP. But
Yeah.
so then you could do the same thing to the truckers that's happening to truckers, right? Where you're like, well, didn't violence happen like associated with this, and so therefore it invalidates their whole movement, and their movement's violent, right?
Yeah. So here's Elon Musk's tweet right here, where he put amateur thieves, and it's the package stuff on the train, and then professional thieves is GoFundMe.
I hear a lot of shady stuff about GoFundMe.
This is GoFundMe's actual tweet when they were saying to support CHOP. They said right here, in a community with no police, this farmer is feeding people and bringing them closer together. Learn how you can support Marcus' mission within the CHOP. So they're actually like lobbying for people to donate on their platform.
Bro, did you see the Chop Garden though? Did you ever see it?
I did see a little bit of it. Yeah, it
They
looks
put
crazy.
cardboard on the ground, like in like a place with soil. Put cardboard down. Then they put like a little layer of soil, and then they just put plants. It looked like shit.
Yeah, so it's not even so much that like, yeah, it sucks when
It's
these
not feeding
protests.
anybody, dude.
When these protests get out of hand, like of course that sucks for everybody, but it's the double standard within GoFundMe that is the main thing here.
When there was vandalism and stuff happening during the BLM protests, it wasn't the BLM marchers or whatever. It was like Antifa. It was like fucking vandalists.
It's just people fucking it up for everybody.
Yeah, but
Right.
they didn't get the bad rep. They tried, but then people were like, "Look, this is a separation between weirdos coming in, vandalizing, looters coming in. Maybe it's
Opportunists.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then GoFundMe was like, "All right, cool. How come they don't give the truckers the same shit? That's weird."
Double standard,
for
right?
real.
That's the absolute double standard.
That's not fair.
The thing is, I found out that a lot of these truckers, a lot of them were fully vaccinated. And then, so they're not some anti-vax, like, alt-right group that's like...
Doesn't matter. Robert Malone's like vaccinated, but
Yeah.
that doesn't matter. He's anti-vax. Dude.
Yeah, so then they're trying to paint them as that, but then the message is being buried because I just took... The original message was literally they're trying to just get to work without being blocked with the vax or not vax or whatever, right?
It's also crazy if you're vaccinated, but you're anti-mandate, then you're also anti-vax.
Yeah.
Right.
Because most people, I think, are just anti-mandate. They're just
I'm anti-mandate and I'm fucking vaccinated.
Yeah, same, dude.
just give us a choice. We can make our own choices. Is what people are fighting for, but it's immediately labeled anti-vax.
Yeah, I don't think it's up to the government to do this. And especially, I feel like if the original argument, which they were like, well, you need to protect other people, and also when you take the vaccination, you're not going to get sick. That's what they were saying in the very beginning. There's news clips out there where people were all shilling the same story. They used that as a way to say, mandate the vaccinations to protect everybody else.
And you can't spread it.
And you can't spread it when you get it. That's what they were saying, right? But now, since all of that shit is debunked, it's kind of like you could still get it. So what's the fucking point for the government to make you take the vaccinations if you could still spread it? I don't get it. I don't know.
Well, Joe, it's very simple. I'll let the news speak for me. Can somebody turn on the news?
Just trust the science, right? Just shut the fuck up and trust the science.
And I guess they
Hey,
did.
that's what Ethan says. He just says, I'm not smart enough to know, so I just listen to whatever the science has to say. Don't you know?
And I guess people could make the argument like, hey, if you take the vaccination, then if you get COVID, you're not going to get it as bad, right? That's fine. But I also think it's up to the person's stupidity. If they want to die, let them fucking die. No one's telling me. It's the same thing as the flu. Right? It's the same. If it's gonna be the same thing as getting a flu shot, right? Where it's literally like the same shit. Where it's your choice to get it, whether you want to get it or not. And if you get the flu, if you get a really bad flu and you have previous health conditions and you die, that's on you. It's not the government's job to tell you to fucking take a
Yeah,
flu
but
shot.
aren't you killing everybody if you don't get the vaccination, though? Like, aren't you killing everybody?
That was the original argument, dude. Because they were saying, oh, you want to get vaccinated, then you're going to spread it
So
to
how come they
everybody.
can't update the software? Now that we know that that's not the case, how come they can't just go like, well, okay, that's not the case, now it's about this?
Because nobody has made a statement about it. Nobody has gone back on saying, hey, we said this, we were wrong, but this is what it is. Like, nobody has ever gone out to make this very clear. And the people that are talking about the actual, real application of all this stuff, that nobody really wants to listen to.
The Rock said it. It's all about pride. It's all about power.
He did.
The Rock said,
He'll say that.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of the whole weapons of mass destruction shit, right? They go into Afghanistan looking for Osama, and then they pivot and go, let's go to Iraq. And everyone's like, wait, what? Wait, what?
And did they find out that, like, Osama wasn't even from Afghanistan. Like he's
Well, he's Saudi Arabian.
exactly, and it's like this
19
whole-
hijackers were like all Saudi.
Exactly. So everyone's just like, what the fuck is going on? But nobody ever talks about
Well, there was a civil suit against the Saudis because of like all the 9/11 damage. Like, hey, we're gonna sue the Saudi government because fuck you guys. But then our State Department stepped in and said you can't do that. So like, exactly.
Yeah. So GoFundMe was flip-flopping over the stance on the Freedom Convoy
Fucking
fundraiser.
sucks,
They suspended them twice, and then before ultimately removing the campaign, they started refunding donations before they even canceled it.
What? See, that's
Really fucking
an example of a centralized protocol.
Thank you.
And they're sketch, dude. They're super sketch.
Go dancer, go.
So this is one of those situations where it's like GoFundMe is supposed to be a community type of led initiative where people can, you know, outside of the government can speak their voice in order to support causes that they believe and under the stipulation of, you know, of course there's got to be some sort of rules and stuff like that, but it's governed by the people who provide the money and stuff, right? So as long as it isn't causing some sort of harm or providing finances to something that's going to harm other people, this is exactly why we need to have more decentralized places, especially when it comes to the finances, because somebody can come in and have their own agenda or have their own, you know, double standards and whatnot and just be like, push a button, nope, you're not going to get the money, let's just do this. You know what I mean?
I like it, but do it with more pop and lock.
I like it.
Dude, I've seen people go on GoFundMe to be like, I'm going to Thailand this year. Can you pay for my fucking vacation? And they post it. I've seen that. They should take that shit down. Because that's bullshit, yo.
Well, I mean, in a decentralized place, that should also be fine.
There were a lot of people.
Nah, dude, fuck that.
There were a lot of people during Stop Asian Hate that were lying and saying that they were attacked because of Asian hate, but it was unconfirmed or was a fucking total lie.
Damn.
There are lots of GoFundMe frauds.
Yeah, there was a fraud of this dude. I think he was like Australian or something, and he was a picture of him all fucked up in a bed, all beat up, and he was like, oh, he tried to stand up for an Asian elderly, and some guy beat him up, and then
No record of it.
and then of course like fucking tons of Asian pages didn't even really research that shit and were reposting it. Money racked up on that thing. And then only a few of us were like, no, this seems like bullshit. And like, I was getting called out for my comment on it because I wasn't fucking sensitive. And then it turned out it was a total fraud and they suspended and deleted the whole shit. Wow. And I'm like, fucking Asians, do better, goddammit. Like, not every one of these is gonna be with
Every race got somebody who just jumps the gun.
Yeah.
Do it with the dance. Jump the gun, bro. Jump the fucking gun.
We're reaching so many new people. Whoa.